When President Trump watched the Bastille Day parade in Paris 8 years ago, he said, "We're going to have to try and top it." Tomorrow, on his 79th birthday, he's getting his wish.
Because it is also the Army's 250th birthday, and that will be celebrated Saturday evening with a massive display of military might, parading along the streets of Washington at a cost as high as $45 million. Here's David Martin.
Metal doesn't get much heavier than this. The Army's main battle tank rolling off a rail car after a 2,000-mile trip from Texas for Saturday's parade. How much does one of these guys weigh?
This is almost 80 tons.
Colonel Camille Stalkoper says there are 28 tanks, 150 armored vehicles in all. How are you going to keep these things from tearing up the streets?
We put on brand new track pads on every track vehicle.
The Army had originally planned for something more like this. But once President Trump took office, the festival grew into a parade complete with tanks.
Enjoy the tanks, but understand they're not the center of the United States Army.
West Point graduate and combat veteran Jason Dempsey doesn't like the look of the Army parading its firepower past the president on a day that coincides with his birthday.
The founders did not want a militarized nation, and they didn't want a president with kingly powers.
President Trump doesn't like the look of anybody protesting the parade.
And if there's any protest that wants to come out, they will be met with very big force.
18.5 miles of fencing is going up for an expected crowd of 200,000, including Lieutenant Casey Thompson's parents.
It's an honor to be here. I volunteered to come, and I asked my gunner if he would want to join for an historic event.
Watchers at home will almost certainly see a split screen. The parade honoring the Army that fought the insurrection against British rule, and troops in Los Angeles faced off against protesters the president has called insurrectionists. David Martin, CBS News, Washington.
CBS News will bring you live coverage of the events tomorrow. We will stream it on CBS News 24/7 beginning at 6:30 p.m. Eastern.